Good morning. This is Norma Cowie here for a Sunday Thought. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, grandmothers, and also going to include any person that loves anybody, because especially the mothers. As a mother myself, I know how important my children have been in my life. I know how important even my nieces have been in my life. And today I wanted to talk about, for a Sunday Thought, inspiration. When I was looking up in the dictionary, I always like to see what the dictionary says, because sometimes they have a little different idea than maybe what I think. Some of the definitions I ran into was the excitement of the mind or emotional to a high level of feeling or activity. I found that was interesting in a way. I liked this one, condition of being excited, and even more, an inspiring agent or influence. And then finally, someone or something that gives you ideas for doing something. And that's what I began to think of when I was thinking about inspiration. Where do I get inspired, or where do other people get inspired? Sometimes I get inspired by reading a book or seeing a movie. Those that know me know I'm a movie buff, waiting for movies can be shown in our local theater again. A thought. I get a lot of thoughts. I often used to say to people, because this is true, I was taught in my sleep, so I would wake up with a thought and be inspired by that. Sometimes you overhear someone speaking or saying something, and it inspires you because it produces a thought within you, so you then become inspired as to where to go from there. I find that I can have inspirations on many, many things, and not all of them do I act on. I have written a certain amount of poetry, not poetry, really, prose. I've written books, yes. And I find I often am inspired to do that. I was inspired to do that. I now working on how to take my regular classes and put them onto Zoom. I'm getting quite inspired as to how do I make this work, where I would have a whiteboard and be able to demonstrate. How do I make those demonstrations? My crazy drawings. I am not a good artist, unfortunately. That was my daughter. She was the artist of the family in a sense, and my son is great. He does carving, wood carving. Me, no, I write. Maybe not the best writer in the world, but I talk. That's what I do, is I talk. That's my inspiration. But I do get inspired to speak on different things or say different things and be different things. So I pose some questions which you can pose for yourself. What do I do to inspire myself? Well, I sometimes just sit and read or watch TV, movies or something. So, and actually I can be quite inspired, because if it's a really good book or a good movie, it inspires my imagination to maybe look at things a little differently. I also get inspired by nature when I'm looking at the lakes near where I live, and the reflection in the water, or watching ducks just swimming along. They can be inspiring as to how life goes on, no matter how you're feeling. If you're feeling a little down or a little unsure, and you go and you see a beautiful scene, and actually last night we had a most wonderful sunset. They're inspiring, and it also reminds us that Earth moves, so that every 24 hours it is done a circle, and then it also is moving around the sun. Like, there's a lot of movement that we have, and we forget that very often we need to have movement. Another question: am I inspired by others? In other words, when you read somebody or you listen to somebody, and with YouTube and many other venues of people speaking, you can go and watch, and you can listen and be inspired to what people have to say about how to deal or handle or create or be in many, many ways. And then lastly, I wanted to pose the question: how do I maintain my inspiration? Inspiration is different from what I, in a sense, have a philosophy that I believe in. And my sense is that inspiration is a little different than a philosophy. An inspiration is something that comes along and you get inspired. You have a thought. As I said, I have lots of thoughts. And in my life, I've had lots of thoughts. Some that I've been able to bring into fruition, some that have not worked. But in the main sense of things, how do I maintain my inspiration? When you begin something, there's always an excitement. But to maintain that sometimes is when we get tired. And for some, they don't necessarily have the perseverance is another word, which I think I've spoken on a couple of weeks ago, actually, to maintain that, to maintain the excitement, to maintain the feeling and knowing that you're going to move to the end degree, to the end place, to the end awareness, and how to bring that forward in a way. So yes, today, Mother's Day, is a day of inspiration. Are you inspired by your mother? Are you inspired by other mothers? I learned a lot from people as I went from excuse me, a child on further. I moved away from my home at the age of 18 to come to Canada. And I had to learn a slightly different culture, and I had to observe. I had to see how other people acted or reacted or what they said and what they did. And that was very inspirational for me because I learned a great deal that I did not already have in my background. So today I leave you on this Mother's Day with a great thought of inspiration. Who has been the most inspirational person in your life? Hopefully your mother is up there. Hopefully it is other people that have been inspirational, something that you can inspire to be, excuse me, or to create or to have. So on this croakiness, I'm going to say, you just have a great week. Thank you very much.